CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
Recently, I was invited as a chief guest for a function where artists from the music, dance and drama fraternity were conferred a prestigious title. I was given the task of felicitating all these artists actually. So while thinking about what to speak about them actually, in terms of the achievement of each of these artists in their respective fields, I was wondering and trying to introspect what actually makes them come together as a class of artists of excellence. Of course, the field here has been different, that they were from the field of music, dance and drama. But nevertheless, for any artist to come up as an excellent artist, certain qualities are definitely required. And probably this also applies on a larger perspective to any field in our life itself. I'm not talking about the popularity quotient. I'm talking about a successful artist, because according to me, the two are quite different. Success is a different quotient, and popularity to me is not just about pursuing the art, but then also pursuing other things which may not even be directly related to the art, where you have to really develop all those skills also in order to become a popular person. Coming to a successful artist, we have been seeing so many maestros in the field who have shown high levels of excellence. And if we look back, we see that all of us, for example, we are taught some art or the other in terms of maybe music, dance, painting, whatever, in our childhood. Sometimes we are also made to learn multiple art forms, like someone may be learning both dance and drama and painting and so many things. But after a few years, what happens is that we start liking one particular art more than the others. And then we start also concentrating much more on that and devoting more time also on that. And in this case, we see that, especially in the case of maestros, what happens is that this kind of fondness for the art makes them completely surrender themselves to the art itself, and they dedicate their entire life in terms of exploring the whole art form. And we see that here the dedication that they have done is not just about just playing for half an hour or practicing for half an hour. In fact, having been in the journalism field for so many years and having got the opportunity to interview so many maestros, I have understood that their life has been one of really toil, hard work and vigorous practice. So in fact, I was also telling one of my students the other day that when you see on stage the maestros perform, it all seems so magical, but it's not actually magic. It is beyond that. You see that a lot in the background, that a lot of hard work has gone into the whole process. Now, this dedication that they actually put into the art form comes from a sense of deep passion for it. That is very important, because the passion is what which gives us that concept of sustenance in the field. Now, especially if you could quote one very simple example of the pandemic which took over us for the last 2 years, we see that all the artists, because of the passion they had, though they were not able to perform live, in fact, you also saw that even the accompaniments could not come together, and because of the situation that prevailed then. So in spite of the fact that so many things were working against them, they tried to invent new ways of presenting themselves through the digital media. That is because of the intense passion which is there within them, like even a solo performance, it didn't matter to them, but all they wanted to do was to present their art form in some way or the other. Now, this passion on the other end also, we see that, as I said, it ignites our faith, it ignites our hope also and keeps us going. And in some cases, we see that especially when some children show great promise, and they come up in such a fast way because of the passion that is there in their in them, to come in the field, become popular in the field, become famous in the field and all that. But when this kind of passion is more directed towards the popularity quotient, what happens is that when they become less popular, because everybody cannot remain popular all through their life, so when they become less popular or when they really lose their name in the field, what happens is that they start giving up. And in sometimes we see that many times they have given up the art itself together. So here we have to remember that the deep passion is very, very important for us to carry forward the art. And every artist, of course, it's not a bed of roses all through his life. So there will be turbulence in his life. And this passion quotient is what actually helps us through the highs and lows. And this is very, very important. The next thing, of course, is a sense of dedication. That is, dedicating your complete self to the art. Like, for example, the dedication is not only about, being faithful to the art form, where the body, the mind, the soul, the heart, everything completely dedicates itself to the art. In fact, in the case of great maestros, we see how the dedication reaches such a level that they are totally oblivious to anything around them. In fact, we have also heard of great maestros where they did not really know much even about their own family and what was happening there. So that was the level of concentration, dedication and determination they had towards excelling in the art form. Then we also see that this quotient of determination and the focus, I was saying, the focus is again very important as to what you want to accomplish in the whole art form. Just being passionate. In fact, I've seen so many people who are very passionate about the art form. They love doing whatever they are pursuing, like music, dance or drama. But then they don't have any focus. It is kind of some kind of an aimless kind of a passion. So that doesn't really work, where the passion has to be guided by a proper sense of focus. Focus in the sense that where you are really clear about what you want to achieve through your art form. And finally, of course, all this has to be guided by the thought process of achieving excellence in the chosen field. And we also see that finally, in a case of a great maestro, there is no dichotomy between art and life. In fact, art and life are not two different entities, but they merge and become one. So this is the highest level of excellence, I would say, where for you the life itself becomes only art, and everything, whatever you think, whatever you do, whatever you feel, everything is in terms of the art that you are pursuing. Here I would like to make a mention about what a successful artist and a popular artist are not the same. I had mentioned that earlier also. And when I mentioned this to one quite famous artist, he asked me the question, well, what is the meaning of success without being popular? So according to him, the popularity was the main yardstick in terms of success. I would like to here also just quote a response I received to one of my earlier episodes on popularity by one of the very hardcore music connoisseurs from USA, Sri Ramaswamy. I'm just trying to recap what he said, because it is a very valuable piece of thought and advice for everyone. He had mentioned, it is good to remember that the world population today is 7.7 billion or so, and that makes the fans of even the most popular an insignificant speck of humanity. It is best to focus on one's own happiness from the art one pursues and not fret about the so-called popularity. Like someone said, popularity ebbs and fades, but nostalgia remains. Would we be part of the nostalgia? That is the real question for anyone engaged in something creative, be it science, art, or whatever. So this also brings to the point that the concept or the popularity quotient is very short-lived in terms of space and time, whereas success is something which remains for posterity. In fact, I would like to finally wind up by sharing one thing which happened recently again to me when I went to attend a wedding where a very great connoisseur of arts, music, one Rasika, he came up to me and said he appreciated my CM 365 and said that he had been watching it regularly. And then he looked at me and said, well, do you realize the value and worth of what you are doing? Probably you may not be even aware of the value that you have been creating through your episodes, the CM 365, because of the fact that it really does not translate in terms of money or even the popularity, because it does not really cater to a very large audience, and I have to be very honest about that. It is being viewed by only people who are very earnestly interested in knowing about the nuances of Carnatic music. So then he said, well, though you may not be able to understand the worth of what you are doing now, let me assure you that this is a priceless contribution for posterity, because after many years, people, for them, this will be like a treasure for them in terms of understanding the beauty of Carnatic music. Well, honestly, when I started this CM 365 also, I did not have anything else in mind except the fact that our Carnatic music has so much to offer to us in terms of the beauty, the aesthetics, the theory, the practical aspects, the composers, the raga, thala. Any domain you take, you see that it has such a vast treasure of information. So much of interesting things are there about our music. And my only aim was, of course, that in my own humble way, I should share this with the world. So probably this again defines what is success and what is popularity. And as artists, it's up to us to choose which path we want to take in our life.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.